They're smarter than me can tell me what to do about that because I don't know. I'm good at this stuff. I'm not good at that tech stuff. So John's getting everything set up here. If you're new to the show, welcome. Glad you could be here. What we're going to do today is I'll explain it to the other camera too. We're going to talk for 24 minutes and then we're going to take a break and we're going to answer your questions. Then another 24-minute segment. We're going to take another break and I'll answer your questions again. So it's 2 opportunities to have your questions answered today. Take advantage of it. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Glad you're with me today. I was just explaining to my other camera there. We're going to do 2 24-minute segments. I'm going to speak for 24 minutes. If you have any health questions at all, send them to me through the website, whatever platform you're on. John, my producer, will answer them to me. If you're watching this on a replay, you can always send me your questions through the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. 24 minutes, questions, 24 minutes, another question. So I'm ready to go whenever you are, John. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with me today. We're going to talk today. We usually talk about nutrition and food. We're going to talk about some other aspects of health. We're going to talk about the physical aspects of health and the mental aspects of health. So I'm trying to come up with a title for today's show, and I thought the habits of super healthy people, because super healthy people do a lot of things. It's like a full-time job trying to be healthy. And I see this when I socialize, in my practices, when I'm at events, when I'm speaking at conferences, that the healthy people do certain things. The unhealthy people do certain things. So if you don't fall into that healthy group, it's a real simple transition. Do what the healthy people do. It's just that easy. For years, I've been saying, if you knew what I knew, you would do what I do. There are certain things that you can do every single day to help increase your life expectancy, decrease your risk of getting sick, save a ton of money, not just on healthcare, but on energy, on ability to go out with your friends, have a relationship, be able to be there for your kids, your grandkids, your church, whatever it is, whatever motivates you, health is going to be the thing that's going to help get you there. So let's talk about not just the chemistry or the nutrition, but other habits that I want you to start incorporating. I have over 40 that I wrote down here. You can use some of them. You can use all of them. The other option is you can do none of them. But I really want you to start incorporating these things into your life because these are the things we know that work. And there's tons of studies out there, but we're going to talk not only studies, but practical today. So one of them is you got to move. You got to get up. You got to stay in motion. So look for reasons to get up. Even short walks make such a big difference. One of the things I teach when I teach corporate workshops, I teach improving productivity for corporations. I'll say, okay, everybody, I want you to drink a glass of water every hour. And they think it's for water. Well, it is. But also, what else happens when you drink a lot of water? You got to pee. So you get up and pee more. And it gives you an excuse to get up and move. Now, you're going to be so much more productive if you're not sitting at your desk all day. You're going to get so much more work done than sitting there for 8 hours if you actually sit there for 6 hours, but you have mobility throughout the day. Just stay in motion. When I do radio shows, when I do podcasts, when I do lectures, TV shows, I always do them standing because that alone opens up my lungs and I breathe better. So many of us don't get enough oxygen in our bodies. Why? We're sitting all day. We're hunched over all day. We're sitting at a computer all day, driving all day. I used to be a truck driver. And the nice part about that, I didn't like the job, but you drive and then you get out, and back then you had to unload your own truck. So I'd get out and load the truck, and then I'd drive to another place. So I'd sit, but I had activity. At the time, I didn't realize it was a good thing, but it really is a good thing. So get up and move regularly. It's so important. Even if you're just sitting at home watching TV, sometimes you just want a lazy Sunday to sit around and watch TV, get up at every commercial. Move around, walk, do squats. Little trick I do is I'll do 10 squats. I do that a lot when I'm doing radio shows because we have commercial breaks. And if I'm getting a commercial break, I'll just do 10 squats real quick. Gets my blood flowing, gets my oxygen going, and it really helps my body stay healthy. Because the body is going to lose muscle mass as you get older. I'll talk about this later, but there's a condition called sarcopenia. Everybody has this condition. And sarcopenia means you're losing muscle, you're wasting muscle, we call it in the business. And you lose about 1% of your muscle mass per year. So if you're 60, you have, according to statistics, 30% less muscle mass than you had when you were 30, even if you had the same lifestyle. It's going to happen. Now, there are supplements you can take like creatine. We have a creatine supplement. I take it every day. It's going to be on our website very shortly, drjoe.com. And it's really inexpensive. 100 servings in a container. So it's really, really cheap. You take about 5 milligrams a day, And don't take more than that. It can cause liver problems. But about 5 milligrams a day, and you'll be amazed how the muscles you don't lose them as quickly. Now, I can't totally stop sarcopenia, but we can slow it down a lot. So creatine is going to be something you can consider. And stretch at least every 30 minutes. Get up and move. And actually stretch. Get up there. Move the arms. Stretch to the ceiling. Bend forward. Maybe you can't touch your toes. I can't. But bend forward, lean backwards, and just get some movement into the body. This is what healthy people do. My doctors, all of us, the doctors in our offices, we're all very healthy. And it's interesting when I adjust my fellow doctors in the office, the muscle tone is there. Structure is there. And then I adjust patients, same age or younger, and a lot of them just don't have that. So healthy people do healthy things. And exercise deliberately. Like I said, get up and do some squats. I don't like going to the gym. I have a bad shoulder, too. I tore up my shoulder when I was young. I got hit by a car. And I have a traumatic brain injury as well. So I've got a lot of physical trauma to the body. So I can't do a lot of the physical activity that I would like to do because of the damage I have to my body. But as long as I keep moving, I do acoustic wave therapy, I get chiropractic care, I eat the right foods. This damage that I had when I was 10 years old probably should have killed me by now. And it hasn't. In fact, I still thrive and run circles around 20-year-olds. So you can do these things. And it's not a lot. You can just do a little every day, and that's what's so important. And you got to prioritize sleep. This is something that we all have problems with, of course. But many times when you can't sleep, you have a magnesium issue. Now, magnesium, depending on the studies you read, do between 350 and 600 different functions in the body. And there's different types of magnesium as well. But a good general magnesium supplement is really important. You can get magnesium from food, but where are you going to get it from? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Those are the sources of magnesium. So I'm very concerned about these trends now that are going on, these carnivore diets, these high-protein diets, the animal diets, whatever they are. You're not getting what we call micronutrients. Now, micronutrients are necessary for so many different things. There's macronutrients. Oh, here I am going into food again. I wasn't going to talk about food today, but I got to talk about it. Macronutrients are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. We know about those. But the micronutrients, the B vitamins, the iron, the calcium, the zinc, the selenium, you don't need a lot of these, but they're so important. Because one of the reasons is this. You know what DNA is, right? DNA is the part of your cell that replicates itself. It's who you are. It's a blueprint of your personality, your life, your health problems, your height, your weight, your hair color. Everything is in your DNA. 30% of your DNA helps you produce something called enzymes. Now, you've heard me talk about enzymes in the past because they help digest food, but enzymes convert things into usable things. So if I eat a carrot and I need to grow bicep muscle, how do I convert the carrot into bicep muscle? Enzymes do it. And so you need enzymes. 30% of everything your body is producing is enzymes, according to your DNA. You can get it from food, you can get it from supplements, but there's other ones your body has to produce internally. But in order for the enzyme to work, you need something called a coenzyme. Coenzyme activates the enzyme. A lot of chemistry going on in your body. What it was, did I hear it right? I read this a while ago. Is it 100 million billion chemical reactions occur in your body every second? And they're facilitated by enzymes. And the enzymes can't work unless you have the coenzymes. You get the coenzymes, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. B vitamins, zinc, selenium, iron. So you got to get these coenzymes to make the enzymes work to make the body work. So if you're eating an all-meat diet, you're not going to get most of your coenzymes. But if you're just eating the standard American diet, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, that's the standard American diet. If you take the first letters, SAD, it's a sad diet, isn't it? So you're eating a sad diet, and you're not getting a lot of coenzymes that you need for the body to work. And so the body can't function. And then it starts to malfunction. And sometimes we call it a disease. Maybe it's heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, other forms of dementia. So why is that happening? In many cases, not all, but in many cases, you don't have enough coenzymes to make the enzymes work to convert food, air, whatever it is, into things that you need. That's another reason why diet is so important. And the average American, I mean, I look at what people eat, and it breaks my heart. And here's a little trick you can do. We're talking about habits of super healthy people. Go to a grocery store. Find somebody who looks healthy. Guy or girl, I don't care who it is. Look what's in their cart. In most cases, 99% of the time, you're going to see things like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, maybe a little bit of meat, probably organic, maybe a little dairy products, maybe organic. Got a lot of healthy stuff. And then look at the person who's in that little wheelie cart, the motorized wheelie cart. They're probably even the same age, maybe younger than you. And look in their cart. It's ice cream, it's donuts, it's cookies, cakes, it's pastas. So it's not a secret. It's not like, oh my gosh, somebody has the secret of being healthy. No. It's very clear what healthy people do, what unhealthy people do. And sleep is so important, and magnesium can help that. Now, if you're eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, you're probably going to get enough magnesium, and you're going to sleep better. We have a magnesium supplement. It should be on the website, drjoe.com, and that's something you should probably add to your dietary protocol every day, because a little extra magnesium isn't going to hurt you. Too much will give you diarrhea, pretty much. That's about it. But you'd have to really overdose in a ridiculous amount to have an adverse effect. So magnesium is important to help you sleep. So if you're not sleeping properly, it could be several things. Number one, you're in pain. How many people are in pain? Raise your hands. What's the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain management? Chiropractic care. Most effective, least expensive treatment. Why wouldn't you do that if you have pain? It makes absolutely no sense to me. This is the most effective, least expensive treatment. Very low risk, very high reward. Quick. Why wouldn't you do it? I have so many patients that have come to me in the past 40 years I've been in practice, and they've tried injections and surgeries and ablations. And nobody ever said, well, gosh, maybe the bone is out of place pinching the nerve. And we start putting the bones back in place. They're like, oh, my gosh. Had a lady the other day. She was seeing one of my other doctors. She was seeing Dr. Kat, one of my doctors. And I was in the office, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I just said, hey, how you doing? And she was, I don't know, probably in her 60s or 70s. And she looks at me and she smiles. She said, for the first time in my life, I don't have headaches. And I just looked at her. I said, really? She goes, I was hoping that maybe when I went through menopause, it would get better. That didn't do anything. I've tried every drug, every injection, every procedure I can possibly think of. Nothing has helped. She goes, I've seen Dr. Kat 8 times, and my headaches are gone. So let's try the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain. Come see us. And let's see if that helps you sleep. Because when you sleep, your body heals, the brain works better, the colon, the liver, the spleen, the sex organs, everything works better, excuse me, when you're rested. And if you're not resting, it could be due to pain. Could be a digestive issue. A lot of people had 3 patients last week that I saw that their stomach was pushing up into their diaphragm. So when they stood up, gravity was pulling their stomach down and they were in good shape. But when they laid down, the stomach pushed up against the diaphragm and they tried to breathe while laying down. Diaphragm wouldn't drop down. You can't suck air in if your diaphragm doesn't move. And they kept waking up with sleep apnea. And we worked on their stomachs. We physically pulled the stomach away from the diaphragm. Now, that helps with digestion and so many other things. But in this case, it helped with the sleep. And all 3 of them, after a couple of treatments, said, oh, my gosh, I'm sleeping so much better. And I love when they say this. How come nobody else ever told me this? How come my other doctors never told me this? I don't know. I don't have those answers. Wish I did. Another thing we have to be careful with, these are what successful people do, is they'll put their phones away before they go to bed. Now, I like laying in bed, and I like scrolling on my phone. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, when you scroll up and down, that stimulates the brain, and you actually get a little rush from it. So I don't know if that was done intentionally when phones were made, or was it just a byproduct? But eye movement can affect brain function. It's called functional neurology. That's part of functional neurology. And if you're scrolling up and down, it's very exciting to you. And so that's why you can't stop. And I've done it already. I'm laying in bed scrolling. Oh my gosh, half hour's gone. I could have just been sleeping. I put the phone across my bedroom. A, because of electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic frequencies can get into your brain and kind of fry your brain. So get the phone away from you, at least at night. And then you want to have your room dark as well. If you have lights on, night lights, probably not a good idea. And even those vampire lights that are on, your cable box, something plugged into the wall, cover those up. The less light you get in your body, the better off you're going to sleep. And so sleep is one of these habits of super healthy people. Now, when you're young, you probably get away with some stuff. I don't know about you, but I remember, going out and having a few beers and a couple of pizzas, going to bed 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 6 and going to work. You can muscle through it. As you get older, you can't do that anymore. And the consequences are much greater. So super healthy people make sure that they have a healthy life environment, a healthy lifestyle. And one of the things they do is sleep. And of course, they eat good foods. And again, I said I wasn't going to talk all about foods today, but I don't know how not to, because the foods are so important. Because again, you need to create enzymes and coenzymes to make the enzymes work, to make everything function, for the body to heal, for the brain to work, for the sleep to occur, for romantic functions to happen. And so many people can't figure out why they have high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, ED, mental issues. And then I just look in a grocery cart and go, this isn't really a secret. You really need me to tell you what the problem is? Well, I'm not going to give up my meat. I don't care if I die. It's okay. If you're going to eat meat, just eat it infrequently, like the Mediterranean diet, infrequent amounts of meat, and make sure it's organic. Well, I like drinking. Well, okay. Is it worth it is always the question I want to ask. And if it's worth it, do it. But to me, I want extreme health. And extreme health is not a secret. It's a recipe. And that's what I'm giving you, the recipe today. So if you have health issues, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. I want to be your doctor. We can do remote consultations as well. But let's get to the cause of your healthcare problem, not just treat the symptoms. You can go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, and book an appointment right now. Normally, the first visit is $940. For you, my listeners, I've reduced that to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Any one of those things is going to cost you more than $299 anywhere else. I do this because I want to find out why you have your health problems and what direction is going to be the best way to go to get you well. Maybe it's treatment with us. Maybe it's not. But let's find out. So I've removed the financial barrier. We've removed the location barriers. We accept most insurances. There's no reason why you're not making an appointment. drjoe.com. Stop suffering needlessly. It hurts me when I see you suffering. It really does. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about the health habits of super healthy people. What does super healthy people do? And it's not a secret. This is very simple stuff. And like I said, you can incorporate some of it, all of it, whatever you'd like. You got to eat right. Supplements are so important. What was the statistic I heard? 58% of people, something along those lines, take supplements every day, and 80% of people say that they take supplements periodically. Supplements are not a luxury, they're a necessity. Because years ago, if you lived on a farm, you picked the food, you ate it right out of the dirt. It had probiotics in it, had prebiotics in the fruits and vegetables. You had fresh air, you had pure water. You didn't have steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, genetically modified food, glyphosate. The things that finally are coming to light, which makes me very excited, finally making the mainstream media. We're saying, well, gosh, we're seeing a link between diet and brain function, diet and autism, diet and child deaths, diet and life expectancy, diet and energy. We're seeing these links, and finally, it's making the mainstream media. And I'm really excited that I was right for the past 40 years telling you all this stuff. So make sure you're eating the right foods, and make sure you're taking the right supplements. Now, supplements are the wild, wild west. You don't know what's in them. You can go to Amazon and say, oh, that one's cheaper. I'm going to buy that one. Always buy the best. It's always cheaper in the long run. So all the supplements we have on my website are handpicked by me, vetted by me. Many of them are formulated by me. And these are the ones that I take every day. There's everything on the website I take every day, except women's hormone support. I take men's hormone support. So why? Because I'm getting older. I want to balance out my hormones. I want to digest my food. I take a digestive enzyme every time I eat a cooked meal. I take Super Greens, Essential Source, vitamin D, because all of us are deficient unless you're working outside every day, and B complex. And so that's the starter kit. But then I take omega-3 fatty acids as well because they're essential for my brain function. And as I'm getting older, I'm realizing I've got to take care of this brain. And I have a traumatic brain injury. So I've got to be extra careful with my brain. And that's so important. Nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels. Dr. Joe's Energy Chewables. I created these because people are tired all the time. I see them drinking coffee every day. So I created a chewable. Tastes really great. Sweetened with stevia. And you can chew 2 of them and notice in about 10 or 15 minutes your energy coming around. It's not coffee energy. You're not going to be bouncing off the walls, but just clarity of thought. Calming. We use ginseng in there. Ginseng is very calming to the body. And so we have so many different supplements. And they're all on the website, drjoe.com. The minimum supplements, I would say, would be Super Greens, Essential Source, B Complex, and Vitamin D. At least, please take those. But I really want you to take all the supplements that you need. And it's a supplement. It supplements a good diet. It's not instead of a good diet. It's an addition to a good diet. So any questions you have, health questions, just send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. I will personally answer your health questions. I know that's insane, but I do it. drjoe.com. There's 3 different ways to do it. Ask a question. On the bottom, contact us. A little bot pops up in the right-hand corner. You want to chat. 3 different ways. I don't care how you do it. Get your questions to me. Hopefully, I'm going to be your guide to try to get to the cause of your problem. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's a little more complicated, but I'll do what I can for you. Social media. Please follow me on social media, Dr. Joe Esposito. We post every single day. Podcast, Dr. Joe for the Health of It. You can get 2 podcasts a week and half-hour podcasts. Listen to them. I'm trying to give it to you in little bitty bits because too much might overwhelm you. And then, of course, a YouTube channel, hundreds, probably thousands of hours of content there. And my website on the bottom, we have the Dr. Joe Show, and you'll see podcasts. Click on that. We have over 4,000 hours of content for you. Why wouldn't you take advantage of the number one question people have? I have health issues. Any health issue. I want to be your doctor. drjoe.com. So portion control is important and snacking is important. You want to wait till your stomach is empty before you put food in there. Because if I have a steak, let's say, I don't eat steak, but if I had a steak, it's going to take several hours to get from my stomach to my small intestine, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. If I have cantaloupe, it's probably going to take about 20 minutes to get from my stomach to my small intestine. So wait till you start to feel a little hungry before you eat again. Just because it's 5 o'clock at night doesn't mean it's dinner time. Just because it's noon doesn't mean it's lunchtime. Wait until you have a little hunger, and then you can eat. This way you know you're not stacking food that's almost fully digested and throw food on top of it that's not digested. That really messes up your digestive system. So it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. And watch healthy people. You don't see them many times at buffets. Go to a buffet. Who do you see there? People that aren't healthy. I was at a conference the other day, big workers' comp conference here in Georgia, and they had snack tables out. And it was interesting because the people that were healthy, looked healthy, I don't know if they were healthy, but they looked healthy, were sitting there drinking seltzers, maybe water. And then the people that were obviously unhealthy for multiple reasons, they were at the cake table. The cupcakes were there. They had a bar, and people lined up at the bar. And I thought, okay, it's not a secret. This is how you're healthy. This is how you're not healthy. So don't have to think it's some mystery out there. And get yourself checked. Go to your doctor. Get your blood work done. Come to us. We can order blood work for you. And get your spine checked. The nervous system controls everything. When was the last time you checked your spine to see if everything was aligned properly? Most people don't even think about that. They'll get their eyes checked, their teeth checked, get their blood pressure checked, their cholesterol checked. But the nervous system controls all of that. And that's why I want you to come see us and we can do an evaluation on your nervous system. So drjoe.com. But get your routine checkups. And if you have questions, I can review. If you have x-rays from another doctor, you have blood work from a doctor, let me know. I'm happy to help you out if I can. Now, I'm not going to spend 3 hours with you if you're not a patient. Some people say, well, Dr. Joe said he's going to read my 300-page report here. No, but I'll give you some general advice. But if you come in as a patient, I'll give you specific advice. Because I really can't give you specific advice unless I know more about you. I always say, generally speaking, based on what you've told me, I can give you some advice. But bring in your x-rays, bring in your MRIs. Let me review them. And let's see if there's anything in there that we can offer that maybe you haven't heard before. And it happens every day. Patients come in and say, I never knew that before. Doctors never told me that before. So we're talking today about super healthy habits of super healthy people. And we're talking about the physical habits along with the mental habits. I've got to go to break soon. When we come back, I'm going to do about mental habits. And one of the last things I'll talk about here is balance your entertainment with activity. Don't just sit and binge watch everything. I love binge watching. I'm not going to lie to you. Squid Games, Wednesday, I like them all. So, but you got to get up and do things. So clean the house while you're watching TV, if nothing else. All right, I got to go to break, folks. Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com is the website. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Just follow me. We post every day. I'll give you restaurant reviews. I'll give you health tips. I'll tell you about a good concert coming up. We've given away concert tickets already. So follow me on social media. If you have any questions, drjoe.com. And the podcast is Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Dr. Joe for the Health of It. So remember, supplements and healthcare are not things you can put off. Because every day that goes by, the body's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. Don't go anywhere. You have questions? Oh, that's hot.
Should I get an NMR cholesterol test?
Yeah, why not? The nice part about testing is it's benign. You can get these tests done. I'll go over them with you if you want me to. Again, I'm not going to give you total in-depth unless I'm not going to sit here because some people every day, I had one lady, she would send me a question every day. I said, I can't answer a question every day. I have other patients I have to take care of. She's not a patient. She just wants free advice. Happy to give you free advice, but don't take advantage of me. The answer is yes, you should get that test because you want to find out what's happening. But then more importantly, what do you do with that information? And that's what I can help you with. What else?
Should I eat aged garlic extract?
If you want to, sure. Nothing wrong with that. Pure garlic is actually better. I know the aged garlic extract has some benefits, but the pure garlic, just take pure garlic, crush it, put it through a garlic press is the best way to do it. Let it sit for about 5 minutes and then put it on your soups, your salads, whatever. Eat it that way. That's the best way to eat garlic. Now, you're going to get bad breath from it. Then you eat parsley to help neutralize the garlic breath, or Dr. Joe's Super Greens helps too. What else?
I keep hearing about the benefits of nattokinase. What are your thoughts?
Nattokinase is amazing. It's great. Nattokinase can get into the blood system and actually clean up some of the plaque that's built up in there. So nattokinase, excellent supplement. I like it. It's from fermented soybeans. And if you ever had something called natto, it's absolutely one of the worst things I've ever eaten in my life. I'll eat anything. And I had natto one time, and it was just horrible. Fermented soybeans. But the nattokinase is good for you. It's in a pill. You don't taste it. So, what else?
I really enjoy pineapple and mango. Is the acidity a problem?
Nope. Unless you start getting breakouts. If you eat too much, sometimes I remember one day I ate a whole pineapple because I was excited, and I got little rashes. I got my bumps all over my skin. So if not having a reaction to it, you're fine. If you have a reaction to it, just cut back. It's probably the pineapple, not the mango. The mango is fine. The pineapple could be a little much, though. So remember, it's bromelain. What does bromelain do? It breaks down protein. So when you put it in your mouth, it's actually starting to break down your mouth. So that's why too much of it might irritate you. What else?
That is all.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. All right, part 2 coming up. All right. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. If you just joined me, welcome. If you stayed with me, thanks. I appreciate that very much. Everybody's got choices. Everybody's busy. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to this because this is information you really need to hear. This is information that you should hear every day. That's why we have podcasts. You can listen to podcasts every day because I learn new stuff every day. And sometimes I say things over and over again. Why? Because for your brain to remember something, most of us have to hear something 11 times. I remember the first time, maybe a song. I don't know if any song that ever hit you that you just went, oh my gosh, who is that? I remember hearing Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac. I was driving. I was in Paramus, New Jersey. I was getting off Route 17. I was in my van. I used to drive a van in high school. Yeah, customized van. And I pulled over to the side of the road. I'd never heard anything like the song Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac. And I thought, this is amazing. Who is this? And this is way before the internet. And I had to research who this was. And back then you couldn't just look something up on, and play it over and over again on YouTube. And so after about the 11th time I heard it, I knew pretty much all the words to the song. It actually inspired me to read the entire book, The Mabinogion. It's Welsh mythology, to find out who Rhiannon was. That's how my brain works. So I read 4 books of Welsh mythology to find out who Rhiannon was and who the song was written about, which is really cool. So you have to hear something over and over again to stick with you. So you may hear something that I say and you go, oh my gosh, that was amazing, like I was the first time I heard Rhiannon. Or Because the Night by 10,000 Maniacs did that to me too. And you say, oh my gosh, I need to know more about that. Go back, go to the website, listen to the shows over and over again, podcast, YouTube, website on the bottom of the homepage. It has Dr. Joe's show and podcasts. You can listen to it as many times as you'd like, absolutely free. But you have to get this embedded into your brain to learn something. And that's why when I say things, sometimes I'll say it differently. I'll say it in different words because I got to get it into you. Bee Gees song, I got to get a message to you. And I really feel that way. I really got to get this message to you because my goal is to get you well and keep you well. Now, if that's not your goal, that's okay. But you're probably not going to be the person listening to the show anyway. Some people don't care, and that's okay. I do care, and I care about you. So we're talking today about habits of super healthy people. What do healthy people do? What's the secret? Now, you may look at somebody who works out and has this amazing build on them, men and women. I'll tell you something. I've treated a lot of professional athletes, bodybuilders. They're not the healthiest people in the world. Health doesn't come from just having muscles. Health is mental health, physical health, emotional health, digestive health, chemical health. So just having big muscles doesn't necessarily do that. Heck, I can take steroids and build big muscles really fast if I'm working out, but that doesn't mean I'm healthy. So yes, I want you to be thin. I want you to have a nice look about you. I want you to have good energy about you. But there's a lot of aspects to health. So today we're talking about the physical and the emotional habits of healthy people. And pretty much across the board, if you truly fall into that healthy group, you do most of these things. And you can do them too. And it doesn't mean going to the gym for 5 hours a day. In fact, that's one of the least important things. Staying in motion is important, but not that. So mental health, again, we talked about screen time earlier. Screen time can create addictive habits. And one of my coworkers, she's 21 years old, and I said something about, what was it, Instagram, I think it was, or TikTok. And we post on TikTok every day. And she goes, oh, I deleted TikTok. And I said, really, why? I'm just curious. She goes, my therapist and I were talking, and she said that it's really wasting time, and it's using up a lot of my brain waves that I should be using for something else. So I deleted TikTok. And I thought, interesting. Now, again, it could be used properly, but she couldn't stop. So that's called an addiction. When addiction is something that you're doing that adversely affects your life. So if you want to have a drink and it doesn't affect your life in any way, shape, or form, great, have a drink. You want to look at social media and it's not taking you away from time from family, friends, romance, fine. But when it starts actually affecting your life, you have to sit down and do some soul searching and say, is this really what I need? And then the answer is no. And then you have to have a detox, a technical detox. Don't look at it. Now, a lot of you right now, if I said don't look at your social media, you'd go, oh, I got to look at my social media. It's like saying, well, don't drink. Well, I could use a drink right now if you're an alcoholic. So social media has created a new addiction in our lives. And just be very careful with it. If you find it's interrupting your life, maybe you're having arguments with your friends, you're not socializing, you're not going out. Maybe what I say, going out on dates. You're not hanging out with your kids because of social media. It's time to do a detox. And so we're talking about super healthy people's habits. And when you have an issue, one of the key things when it comes to mental health is recognizing that it's an issue. Kind of segues off from from what we just talked about with you realize it's an addiction. So you have a problem. You have to sit back objectively and say, what is this? I don't like my boss. I'm upset with my mother. I'll tell you a little story. I'm not upset with my mother. But I remember one time in Atlanta, somebody was standing on an overpass at the highway, and they were going to jump. And it shut down the whole highway system. Atlanta is a very, very traffic-laden city. And everybody was complaining about it. You know, what's wrong with this person? They're blocking up traffic. They're crazy. And then somebody said, how sad. This person has such an emotional issue, a mental issue, that they're willing to end their own life. I feel sorry for them. And that changed my whole perspective on it. And that little piece of advice, I remember where I was standing. I was standing in a place called Life Grocery in Marietta, Georgia, probably 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I thought about it, and I thought, what about your family members you don't like? What about people you don't get along with? You know, famous guy said, forgive them for they know not what they do. And at that moment in my time, I realized that forgiving is so important to my health, not theirs. You don't have to like somebody. People can do you wrong. I've had people do me wrong. I don't like them. But what am I going to do? That's their problem, not mine. And I forgive them for it. So processing your emotions is really important. And I remember, I've told this story before, but years ago, there's a girl I used to date. Her name was Karen. And we were out on a date. This is probably 30 years ago. And we were talking, and she goes, oh, yeah, my father died. What? Yeah, my father died. Like you'd say, oh, yeah, I bought new socks today or something like that. And I remember feeling sad for her. She goes, oh, he was a I won't say the word, and I don't really care. But I thought, how sad for her that she didn't miss her father. And I remember when my parents died, each one of them, I remember thinking from that experience how lucky I am to be sad. That means we had a good life together. If a relationship ends, I've been dumped. I've had my heart broken. I would think, well, what did I do wrong? Many times it's not you. Sometimes people just aren't ready for relationships. Some people had emotional trauma when they were children. Maybe they were abused. And so they're not capable of reaching to that level of intimacy. And so instead of being mad at them, you could say that's really a shame that they're missing out on this. She missed out on having a relationship with her father. And so processing those emotions is really important for your mental health, which has an effect on your physical health. And so a lot of times patients come in and we can give them the best chiropractic care in the world. Maybe they had the best surgery in the world. They're taking the best supplements in the world. But then we have to sit down and say, why is their brain not working properly? Many times it's a physical issue. If you're not absorbing nutrients, your brain can't work. Your brain works on 4 main neurotransmitters. And so you got to produce these neurotransmitters, and you have to give the body the raw material. And if you don't give the body the raw material and you can't absorb the raw materials, you can't produce the neurotransmitters. So serotonin makes you happy. Serotonin converts into melatonin, which helps you sleep. Dopamine gives you pleasure. Dopamine converts into norepinephrine, which gives you energy. Glutamine becomes GABA. GABA suppresses pain. Too much glutamine blows out the brain, metaphorically speaking. So you got to have that Goldilocks zone. You got to have the right amount of nutrients. Is it absorbable? Can you absorb it? And is your body able to process it? I can't tell you how many patients I've seen in my 40 years in practice that had ADD, ADHD, anxiety, depression, bipolar. I saw a patient last week. I was covering my practice up in Duluth. My Dr. Cat was on vacation. And he said, Doc, I'm 31 years old. I've been on antidepressants for 11 years, since he was 20. He goes, I don't think they're working anymore. And I asked him something. I said, do you have any digestive problems? And he looked at me and he said, how'd you know that? And I never saw this guy before. He said, it all started, I ate some bad food. I remember I had diarrhea and I was vomiting really bad. And right after that, I went into this state of anxiety and depression, and it's been there for 31 years. How did you know that? I said, because your digestive system is where you absorb nutrients to produce the neurotransmitters to make your brain work. And he almost got teary-eyed, and he paused for a second, and he looked at me. He said, what everybody says, how come my other doctors never told me that? You're the first person to ever make sense of it. And I met you 3 minutes ago. Because if you understand how the body works, the physical affects the chemical affects the emotional. It's this big circle. Everything affects everything. So if you have acid reflux, diarrhea, constipation, bloating, gas, you're not absorbing food properly. And that can affect your body's ability to produce neurotransmitters, which can then affect your brain. So when we fix people's digestive systems, and it's the number 2 reason we see patients. Number 1 is pain. Number 2 is digestion. I am amazed of the stories that come back. Doc, you saved my marriage. I've heard that way more than once. You saved my marriage, Doc. I was so angry. I couldn't relate to my wife, my husband, whatever it is. And since I've been coming here, I'm noticing that I'm able to have a better relationship with my family, my spouse, my kids, my coworkers. Because the brain is a machine. And you got to add the right nutrients to it, the right fuel to it, and you got to tune it up. And that's how the body gets well. Now, can we fix everybody? No. But I really believe, in my heart of hearts, that if we had the nervous system, digestive system, and diet straightened out on people, we would have a lot less issues in society. I won't make this political. We'd have a lot less issues in society. I've had people that were in prison, and they come out, and I tell them basically what I just told you. And they said, oh, my God, it all started when? And they talk about their digestive system. So if you have digestive issues or pain or neurological issues, come see us. I can't guarantee I can fix it, but heck, we got a pretty good track record. Just go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, and you can book an appointment right online or call us. Normally, the first visit is $940. I've reduced that to $299 for you and your family. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, and a complete nutrition evaluation. And I do this because I want to find out why you're having your problems. If we think we can help you, we'll tell you. If we don't think we can help you, we'll tell you that too. And we accept most insurances. My staff will explain how that works. Car accidents, sports injuries. Let's get to the cause of your problem and not just treat the symptom. It's a unique way of looking at healthcare, isn't it? And I love it. 40 years, I still do this. I had a young doctor come in the other day to follow me around, medical doctor. And he was following me around. And he says, how long have you been doing this? I said, 40 years. He goes, you're like a kid. He's like a little kid running around in this office. I said, I love what I do. I'm excited every day. I know that we can help people get well. He goes, man, I want to be like that in 40 years from now. I said, you can. Keep yourself healthy, too. So, and by the way, I'm not going to cover everything I need to because I've got so much to cover, and I always make way more notes than I ever need. If you want a copy of today's show notes, I'm happy to give them to you. Absolutely free, no charge, my gift to you. Send me an email through the website, drjoe.com, and just put Super Health Habits. You got to tell me the title because say, I want show notes. What show notes? I do a lot of shows. Super Health Habits. And I will send you the show notes absolutely free. And in fact, as a bonus for you guys this week, I put together a daily plan hour by hour, how you can incorporate some of these things, and then a checklist, a daily checklist that I want you to go through every day. Did I cover everything that I was supposed to do? And the checklist is really good. Covers a lot of cool stuff. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about habits of super healthy people. And I want you to start doing some of this stuff. And what's cool when I do things like this, people will say, I never thought about that. Or I used to do that and I stopped doing it. How many of you do that? I used to do that and I stopped doing it. Or, wow, I didn't realize that supplements had such an impact on my brain. I didn't realize my diet had such an impact on my brain. Yeah, it does. And I want mental health, I want physical health, I want digestive health. And here's your recipe. You know, follow it. Reminded me of the song MacArthur Park. Jimmy Webb wrote that song. And the line was, someone left the cake out in the rain, and I don't think that I can make it because it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. He was talking about being in love. It was MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, and he had a girl he was dating. She broke up with him, and so he wrote this amazing song. I think Jimmy Webb's an amazing songwriter. But anyway, the key was, and I'll never have that recipe again. He's talking about love. We're talking about the recipe to get well and stay well, and you can have it every day. It's not like you'll never have it again. It's not hard to find. You create this. It's not like somebody's going to give this to you. This is something you create. So we're talking about mental and physical health. Set some realistic goals. I'm bad about this. Okay? Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm bad about this one. I reach my goals and I just move on. I don't celebrate enough. And I'm really good that I've a family member, and she keeps me in line. And she says, all right, you did amazing things. You're one of the top radio shows in the world. You have so many followers on social media. This person had serious disease, and now they're healthy again. She goes, we're going to go celebrate. And I appreciate that. I really do, because I need to be pushed into that because I just move on to the next thing. But for mental health, yes, stop and say, wow, that was amazing what just happened. Take a breath and enjoy it. Because it's a lot of fun. That's why I still enjoy what I'm doing. This is a fun thing. And I do this a lot. At the end of the day, as I'm going to bed, and I heard somebody tell me to do this years ago, and I started doing it. As I'm laying in bed, drifting off to sleep, I think to myself, what good happened today? What amazing things happened today? And when you sit down and actually think about it, it's incredible how many things happen in just 24 hours. Got a lot of song things in my head. What a difference a day makes, right? So what a difference a day makes. And I'll sit there. In my case, I think about patients. I think about people that have helped with supplements. I answered questions for them. Meet people in the street. Oh, my gosh, Dr. Joe, you changed my life. And I love that. And that's exciting to me. But yours is going to be different, of course. I got to play with my dog. I went to work today. I woke up today. I mean, that could be a good one. So think about the good things that happened. And what happens is your brain shifts into what's called parasympathetic mode. Sympathetic nerves speed you up. Parasympathetic nerves slow you down. And we want to go into slow down mode. And if you're thinking about happy things that happen, it kicks you into that parasympathetic mode, and you're going to sleep better. So just close your eyes and think about it. What good happened today? Now, you may have a serious health issue. Maybe your spouse left you. Maybe you lost your job. But something good probably happened today. And if you think about it long enough and hard enough, heck, I just woke up. I walked to the bathroom where some people couldn't. It's going to kick you into that parasympathetic mode, which really helps you sleep better. So it's the attitude of gratitude. You appreciate those things that happen in life. I was driving the other day, and the cloudy, and the sunlight was coming through. It was like a Catholic church painting, with the sunlight beaming through the clouds. And I remember seeing this with my father. We went fishing, deep sea fishing in New Jersey. I was probably 10 years old. And I remember seeing that. And I thought it reminded me of my dad. And I went, this is so cool. This is great. I had a wonderful father. How lucky am I that I missed my father? And so that kind of reminded me of that. So think about little things like that throughout the day, and you're going to be amazed what happens. And my mother taught me this, speaking of parents. My grandfather taught me too. Always leave something better than you found it. So I was walking the other day. I was walking to the grocery store, and there was trash in the parking lot. And I just picked it up, and I put it in a trash can. Nobody saw me do it. And as I'm walking, I thought, that's so weird. That's such a habit of mine. I don't like seeing junk laying around. So I picked it up. I made the parking lot a little better. Didn't even think about it until after I did it. So think about these little things that you can do to make life better. My mother, she was the best person to meet people. I remember when I was a little kid saying, Mom, you laugh all the time. She goes, because I'm happy. What a great line. And grocery stores, if we were in the street, department stores, my mother would smile and talk to just about everyone. And everyone loved my mother. My cousins, my aunts, my uncles, man, when my mother passed, it was like, oh, man, remember Grandma Rosie did this? Remember Aunt Rosie did that? Think about how you can make somebody's life better. And when you do, it makes your life better. And somebody taught me a long time ago, if you're single, smile at everybody, men and women. Because when you smile, you open yourself up, and you never know what kind of opportunities you're going to have. So smile at everybody. I do too. I smile at everybody now. I can't stop myself. And I love waving to little kids because my father always did that. Wave to little kids. And they smile, you smile, brightens up their day. So we're talking today about habits of super healthy people, not just chemical, but physical and mental habits of healthy people. So if you want a copy of today's show notes, we got a lot of information. I've covered maybe a quarter of what I need to cover. Send me an email through the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, and just put in the email, Super Health Habits. Happy to send you the show notes, absolutely free, my gift to you. And you can read it, do what you want with it. And we didn't cover more of the mental health habits, the sample daily plan, hour by hour, what you can do hour by hour if you need that much structure. And then the daily healthy checklist, which is really kind of amazing. Got to drink your water first thing in the morning. I have tea first thing in the morning and water. Get that digestive system working. Start moving when you get out of bed. Don't get up and go sit down again and have coffee or something. Get up and move. Eat at least, again, 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Make sure you have plant proteins every day, and that's lentils, split peas, beans. But you can get protein from carrots, celery. I mean, think of a cow. Cow eats grass. Look at all the protein they have. Elephants, hippopotami, I'm not sure which one it is. These are the plant-based animals in the world. They have the longest life expectancy, and they're the healthiest. So I'm a big fan of plant-based. If you're going to eat animal products, make sure it's organic. We talked about limiting screen time. Pick healthy snacks. But make sure your stomach is empty before you eat your next meal. Don't keep piling food on top of food on top of food. You'll get bloated. You're not going to digest your food properly. And it's going to affect your brain because you're not absorbing nutrients like you used to, like you should. My mom's trick, smile at everybody. It's kind of freaky when you smile at everybody because when you smile, you feel better too. Because when you smile, your brain releases a chemical called endorphins. Now, endorphins are painkillers 16 times more powerful than morphine. You're getting high. It's not as much morphine, of course, but ounce for ounce, let's say. So when you smile, you feel good about yourself. And one of the things I enjoy doing, I like going to estate sales. I don't know if you've ever been to estate sales, but I like going there because I see things from my past. Oh, I remember as a kid, I had that toy, or the house smells. Oh, it smells like grandma's house. So I enjoy estate sales for the reminiscing part of it. And it's also mindless because sometimes we get wrapped up in a day where everything is so stressful. And so I like walking down memory lane. I don't have any real family anymore. I'm really the only one left of my generation. And so it reminds me of the old days. And I don't have anybody to talk about and reminisce about my old days because they're not around anymore. So it kind of brings me back. So these are things I enjoy doing. So find out what you enjoy doing. Maybe you like museums. Maybe you like hiking. Maybe you like kayaking. Whatever it is, try to incorporate that into your life. And taking downtime really helps. You think, but if I take downtime, I'm not going to get something done. That's okay. My mother talking about kids and talking about raising kids and how stressful it can be. And my mother said, just be. And I didn't quite get it at the time, but now I got it. Just be. Just be there with the kids. You don't have to impress kids. My father was deaf. Kids loved my father because they could say anything they wanted. He couldn't hear them anyway. He'd just smile. And everything they said, he smiled. And all my nieces and my cousins loved my father because he just smiled a lot. They didn't understand what they were saying, but they weren't saying anything important anyway. So find the things that make you happy. And keeping the body in motion, sometimes it's tough to get up and get out of bed or get up out of the chair, but that's where the body's going to start to get healthy. So you want to have a normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition. We got all this laid out for you. You want to copy the show notes, drjoe.com, send me an email. You got 3 different ways to do it. Ask a question. Chat bot will say, hey, want to chat? Or down the bottom, contact us. I will send you a copy of the show notes. Just say Super Health Habits. Absolutely free. I do this because I want to share this information because my goal really is to naturally get you well and keep you well. After 40 years of doing this, this is my fun time now. I'm at the point in my life where I love sharing this information with you. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, drjoe.com. I'd love to check your nervous system, digestive system, and diet. So drjoe.com. Set it up for you. Normally the first visit is $940. I've reduced that to $299 because I want to make it affordable so you can find out, do you have a situation that we think we can help? All the supplements we talked about, the Super Greens, Essential Source, Nitric Oxide, B-Complex, Vitamin D. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Go to the store section, look for what we have. If you have any questions, send me a question. Happy to answer it for you. Supplements are not a luxury, they're a necessity. You have to have supplements in your diet in order to obtain and maintain good health. Unless you're living, I don't know, in some farm, maybe in Australia where there's fresh air and pure water and no stress and you're eating nothing but organically grown raw fruits and vegetables, maybe then. I don't live in that world, though, and I'm assuming you don't either. So, all right, almost out of time, drjoe.com. Folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. All right. Questions?
How important is zinc? Should I take a zinc supplement?
You can take a zinc supplement or eat 2 handfuls of pumpkin seeds every day. That's actually better for you. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with zinc, and they have a lot of other chemicals in there that are good for you too. So I would do that instead.
Any advice for help with lymphatic draining and PCOS?
Yes. PCOS, you have to cut out all caffeine. That's really important. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, for those who don't know what PCOS is. You got to cut out your caffeine. That's important. Plant-based diet, vital. Check the nerve supply in the low back. The nerves in the low back control the uterus and the ovaries, and that's where the tumors are growing. Going to a more plant-based diet is going to be really important as well because the animal proteins can actually have estrogen in them, and estrogen can cause abnormal cell growth. Now, soy has estrogen in it, but it activates the beta receptor sites in the body. Animal estrogen activates the alpha receptor sites. Totally different effect on the body. Animal estrogen versus plant estrogens. We're not plants, so we can't function with plant estrogen. And it can actually block you from absorbing animal estrogens. So for that, if you want to, the lymphatic drainage, you can get a trampoline. Those little trampolines, the tiny trampolines they have, and just gently bounce on it. You don't have to, bounce and hit the ceiling, but just bounce up and down on it. And that's wonderful to contract the muscles because lymph is drained through muscle contraction. So if you want more information on that, send me an email, drjoe.com. I'll send you the whole protocol that I use for PCOS patients. And the little trampoline is good for lymphatic. So what else?
Can I take your nitric oxide support supplement and your energy chewables at the same time?
You can. John's laughing over there. Yeah, you're going to get a boost. I wouldn't, only because it's going to be too much. You're going to be bouncing off the walls. And I've had people do that. They say, Doc, I took them both. Oh, my God, I was like a little kid running around. I said, yeah, that's a little too much. You can take one in the morning, one at night if you want to. But the chewables are phenomenal. I have them in my car. I have them in my house. I take them before every radio show, every TV show. They're just great. Energy chewables. It's nitric oxide and ginseng. It opens up your blood vessels and calms your brain down. It's just phenomenal. So, what else?
Is jogging a good exercise, or does it put too much stress on your joints?
I'm not a fan of jogging because everyone I know who jogs eventually can't jog. My old roommate, Steve, from college, great shape, God, a handsome fellow, worked out every day, and we talk on a regular basis. We're still good friends. And he says, yeah, I can't jog anymore, man. My knees are shot. Now, he's a chiropractor, got chiropractic care, eats well, great shape, but his knees wore out. So walking quickly, and actually walking, you can walk quickly and then slow and quick and slow. That's really one of the best ways to do it. Much better than jogging, actually, and the same benefits. So, what else?
Are pecans a healthy snack?
What is it? Yes, pecans are fine. Just be careful with nuts. I love eating all sorts of nuts except peanuts, but they can put weight on you. So don't think I'm going to have a meal of this bag of pecans or walnuts. Walnuts going to be the ultimate nuts of all of them. Macadamia nuts are great too, but maybe a handful of two. That's it. Don't eat too much; you'll get fat. So that's it.
That is all.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Please follow me on social media. Any questions, you know where to send them. drjoe.com.